7.3 notes. We're going to do more multiplication properties of exponents. So, example, you can pause it and fill in your chart at the top for me. But what we're going to do is the power of the power rule first, and for that one you multiply the exponents. Example 1, we're going to simplify that. That is a power of a power, so we're going to multiply the exponents. And we get 4 times 7 is going to be our new exponent, so it's going to be n to the 28th power. B, we're going to multiply our exponents again because it's a power of a power, and we're going to multiply 2/3 and 1/2. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, and we get 2/6, which we can reduce to 1/3. Okay, I want you to try guided practice number 1. I don't know what happened to the formatting here, but we'll try to get it situated. Instead of B, we'll do A, P to the 5th to the 4th. B is P to the 4th to the 5th. C is P to the 1/2 to the 1/4. And D is P to the 1/4 to the 1/2. Pause the video, do those 4 on your own, and I'll give you the answers in just a second. Okay, for A, you get P to the 20th. For B, you get P to the 20th. For C, you get P to the 1/8. And for D, you get P to the 1/8. Example 2. Simplifying an expression with multiple different powers. So what you want to do, you have to do exponents first before you can multiply, according to the order of operations. So we're always following that. So we're going to do the exponent here, which is a power of a power. The y to the 3rd doesn't change, so we're going to leave it alone. But our power of a power, we're going to multiply those two exponents, so we get 5/2 times -2. And that becomes y to the 3rd times y to the -5, because 5/2 times -2 is -5. Now this is multiplying powers with the same base, so we're going to add our exponents, and we get y to the -2 power. Because it's a negative exponent, we have to put it into the bottom, and it becomes 1 over y squared. Guided practice number 2. There's 3 parts to this one. I'm going to have to write the questions for you, but A is going to be x squared times x to the 6th to the -4. B is w to the -2, w to the 5/3 cubed. And C is going to be s to the -5 to the -1/2 times s to the 3/2. Pause it and do those 3 questions on your own, and I'll give you the answers in just a second. Okay, A is going to be 1 over x to the 22nd power. B is going to be w to the 3rd. And C is going to be s to the 4th. Power of a product rule. What you do for that is raise each factor to the power. And I have the algebra example and the number example in there for you. You can pause the video right now and write that in. And then I'm going to go into example 3. Okay, so we want the area of the square. So the two sides of the square are equal to 5x squared in length. So the area of the square is always going to be side squared. So our area is going to be 5x squared squared Since this is a power of a product, we are going to have to give both factors the exponent. So that's going to be 5 squared and then x squared squared. And 5 squared is 25. And x squared squared, x to the second power, you multiply the 2's and you get x to the 4th. Okay, guided practice number 4. We got 3 parts. A is going to be 7m to the 9th, all to the 3rd power. B is 2z to the negative 4. And C is 3g to the 4th to the negative 2. So pause the video and work on those 3 questions for just a second, and I'll give you the answers when you come back. Okay, A is 343 m to the 27th. B, 1 over 16z to the 4th. And C, 1 over 9g to the 8th. Example 4, simplifying expressions with products. So we want to simplify this whole expression. Do not forget we want to follow the order of operations. So we're going to do our exponents first, which is our power of a power here, and then our power of a product here. So we're going to multiply 1/2 times 10, and then we're going to distribute the exponent across the entire multiplication there. So we're going to do 4 to the 3rd, m to the 3rd, n to the negative 2/3 to the 3rd. Our n to the 1/2 times 10 becomes n to the 5th. 4 to the 3rd m to the 3rd, and then n, you multiply the exponents there and you get to the negative 2. Now we're going to bring our 4 to the 3rd out front. Our m to the 3rd has no matching base, but our n to the 3rd, n's have, there's 2 of them, so we have to multiply them together. So we add our exponents and we get n to the 3rd. Then you can go back and change your 4 to the 3rd to 64. And that's your final answer, 64 m to the 3rd, n to the 3rd. And it's pretty much just taking everything step by step, following the rules that you've been taught, not trying to make anything fit into a box, just following the rules I told you. And then it should be pretty easy. Go to guided practice 4. Work on those 3 problems, and I'll give you the answers in just a second. Okay, A, you should have gotten 81 y to the 20th. B, 81 c to the 16th. And C, 5,400 b to the 3rd over a to the 3rd. Okay, got example 5, raising a number in scientific notation to a power. Your problem is the expression 1/2 mv squared gives the kinetic energy in joules of an object with a mass of m kilograms traveling at a speed of v meters per second. What is the kinetic energy of an experimental unmanned jet with a mass of 1.3 times 10 to the third kilograms, traveling at a speed of 3.1 times 10 to the third millimeters per second. So you're going to plug those two expressions in scientific notation into your formula. So that's going to be 1/2 m, which is your mass, 1.3 times 10 to the third, times v, 3.1 times 10 to the third squared. And then we're going to simplify it. So we're going to deal with this power of a product at the end first, and everything else we're just going to copy so we don't get confused. 3.1 squared is going to be 9.61. 10 to the third squared, you multiply your exponents and you get 10 to the sixth. And now just multiply your numbers that are not powers all the way across. 9.61 times 1.3 times 1/2. And we get 6.2465. Then we're going to multiply our powers with the same base, so we're going to add the exponents, and we get 10 to the 9th. You don't round this because it's in scientific notation, so and if the number stops, then you don't want to round it. And you are going to make sure that you only have the ones place and nothing more, and so I'm good, and that's my final answer. Okay, I want you to do the same thing on guided practice 5, except I want you to use the mass 2.5 times 10 to the 5th and the velocity 3 times 10 squared. And then pause the video and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, you should have gotten about 1.125 times 10 to the 10th.